All right. So I hope those went really well for you. Uh, the triangle sum theorem is like the most important. I think it might be the most important thing we learn in all of geometry. That one rule, you get so much mileage out of it. You can break any other shape into triangles, and then you can use the triangle sum theorem to figure things out about them. So it's a really important uh, building block for later on. So I hope it's going well. And I want to encourage you to make sure you understand it really well. Like the fact that triangles add up to 180 and angles on a straight line add up to 180 is a uh, wonderful way that allows us to figure out a lot of stuff as we apply our logical reasoning to those two facts, to those two conditions, right? For example, look at this situation. Here, now we've got x, y, and z. So we're going to start doing algebra with our triangles. And we have to set up the equations. And in order to set up the equations, you have to use the fact that these equal something. Two or three angles will always equal, if you have a triangle, three angles will equal 180. If you have a linear pair, then two angles will equal 180. And we can use that to figure out in a situation like this, we can find x, y, and z. So let's write down what we know for sure. So we know that in our first triangle, in triangle ABD, we know that 43 plus 59 plus x is going to equal 180. And we also know that x plus y, that makes a linear pair. X plus y equals 180. And we also have another triangle here that 49 plus y plus z. I'm just going to write all these down before I start solving anything. 49 plus y plus z, that equals 180. Let's see, what else can I figure out? Here's one that maybe, this is one of the cool things about geometry, is it challenges you and gives you these opportunities to do these visual little puzzles. I wonder how many people noticed that we can also write this equation. 59 plus 43 plus 49 plus z equals 180. Ooh. Whoa. Okay. It's hard to write with the mouse. This is a z, by the way. It might be really hard to tell the difference between my z's and my 2's, but this is a z as well. And I can write this long equation because there's a big triangle right here. I don't want to leave that there because I want to be able to see that clearly, but that's the big triangle, and the angles of that triangle also have to add up to 180. Okay, so every triangle angle sum theorem, every triangle, angles add up to 180. Cool. So I can start with either one that has one variable. If I have an equation that has just one variable, I can solve for that variable. I think I'll go ahead and solve for x first. So 43 plus 59 is, let's see, 9 plus 3 is 12, and 50 plus 40 is 90, so it's 102. And that means that x has to equal, in order for this to work, x has to equal 72. Because that's the only number that I can put there that'll make this add up to 180. Not going to work too hard on showing my algebra right now. And then it's a good idea to just go ahead and write that in. We may get much more complicated. I know these as this is the very beginning of an angle chase. That's what I call them. And I think that they are wonderful little puzzles where you just use what you know about geometry to find all the missing angles. And some of them get very complex, and it gets to be a task to keep track of what do I already know and then how can I use that. So I just write it in as I go. So now I know that x is 72. I can also figure out z. And let's see, 72 is almost a right angle, but not quite. So that matches what we see in our picture here fairly well. Let's see, 43 plus 59 is 102, plus 49 is 151. All right, and so 151 plus z has to be 180. So z better be 29, which is a fairly acute angle. And over here we can see that z is a fairly acute angle. The door is almost closed there. And now I know, let's see, 49 plus y plus z. Well, I know z. Z is 29. I just figured that out. And 49 plus 29 is, so let's see, 18 plus 60, 78. Doing all this math in my head. I'm probably going to make a small mistake somewhere. So 78 plus y equals 180. That means that y is going to have to be obtuse, and it is. Cool. So it's looking pretty good. Solve this little riddle. 78, let's see, this must be 10. Of course, 102, of course it is, because I'm supposed to be using the angle sum theorem, but if I was smart, I would have realized my exterior angles theorem. Look at this. The more you know, the easier these get. This angle plus this angle, exterior angles theorem, must equal this angle. I already did that, 102. So all I needed to, I could have just used that. I could have also written an equation that said 43 plus 59 equals y. Cool. So I found all my variables. Y is 102. And x is 72. And I could have used linear pairs here too. X plus y equals, oh, I did have that. X plus y equals 180. So there you go. There's a little bit that we can do. We can also start to put in, we'll put in, like this one is 2x plus 5, just to keep those algebra skills sharp. You're going to need those when you get done with geometry and you go into Algebra 2. So we want to come into Algebra 2 with real strong algebra skills. So we're going to keep working the algebra skills while we learn our geometry. But that gives you, I think that gives you everything that you need in order to answer a whole bunch of questions. So we'll start off with some easier ones, and then towards the end we'll do a couple that are a little bit more involved. But that's I think that's all that I need to tell you. So this will be Mr. Griffin saying have a great day and have fun with your new postulates, the triangle angle sum theorem and the exterior angle theorem. They're going to be your best friends going forward in geometry. So, get to know them well. All right. Have a great day.